On the mic. On the mic with your host Suleiman Al-Zahafi. Hi, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of On the Mic with your host Suleiman Al-Zahafi. We are very excited to be joining today, especially, we always have the adventure side in everyone. We always want to have and be active in everything. With our next esteemed guest is going to be individual coming to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, individual who loves to have an adventure, who is very into activity and exercise and anything that goes into this amazing lifestyle. As we say, we always want a better version of us. This individual is part of an amazing development happening here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm sure everyone has heard the Red Sea project happening in the western part of the kingdom. Beautiful beaches, beautiful scenery, amazing environment, and lots of things that's going to be able to be developed and grow as a region, and the perfect place to have a vacation in your backyard if you're living in the Middle East or in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So now, without further ado, we're going to have our next guest here on the studio, Mr. Oliver Wood, an individual who works in adventure and a sports director for the Red Sea Development Company. Thank you so much, Oliver. We're very excited to have you.
And it's great to be with you all today as well. Thank you very much for having me.
We're excited. When someone says adventure, it was like, oh boy, where we're going. I was thinking
that.
I
know. I know. Everybody expects that I roll into every room or have to climb up the side of the building to just get into a meeting. But it's an exciting job title to have, and it draws a lot of people close to you that want to work with you. So that's always a good thing.
That is definitely an amazing sign. But Oliver, tell us more about you. Give a little introduction. Where are you from? More of what you do, and the little knick-knacks we should know about you.
No problem at all. It's a pleasure. So I'm from the UK. It's my 40th birthday tomorrow, so that's very exciting.
That's an amazing 40 years adventure, huh?
And I've been in the Middle East for pretty much half of my life now, so I'm as much from here as I am from there. I grew up in a little village in the New Forest called Lyndhurst, close to Southampton, and yes, I support the football team, and yes, I'm constantly upset and disappointed, but I'm still stuck by them, so that's the football life in me. I've been working on adventure and sport throughout the kingdom, I think, for the past decade, and have worked on several things like the first Formula E in Diriyah. I've worked on the Race of the Champions, Saudi American Race of Champions. I worked in Ras Biras in Khobar. All sorts of different activities alongside Red Bull, the air race, and various car park drifts. So I've had a real exciting career in adventure and sports in the kingdom, and also had a life in music. When the lights go down and night comes across, my superhero power is as a DJ. So I've had a few.
You're a DJ also.
Yes. Yeah, so when life is stressful at work and everything is challenging, it's good to have a brain break. So my brain break was creativity in music. So I've been producing music since 2013, all my life. But we got signed to Sony Records in 2013. I think we've had about 40 million streams across various channels. A band called Holophonic. And we've been lucky enough to play in Saudi a few times. We did the last Azimuth festival in Alula, which I know is coming back again soon. And that's my hobby. And then it interacts quite nicely with my job, because creativity is at the heart of what we're trying to do when we build experiences for all of our guests and visitors. So yeah, it's been an interesting time, and it's nice to be working and living in Saudi Arabia. because a lot of my friends are here, so they've either come back or always been here, and now we're alongside each other, enjoying our life alongside the vision, which is really cool, and it's a great place to be for me.
When you ask someone that loves adventure and very active, it's difficult to ask them like, what made you want to come to Saudi Arabia, for example. But I gotta ask, what made you want to come to Saudi Arabia? Was it the beach? Was it like the activity, or you just thought, I was like I want to try something new?
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it was time for a new adventure. I'd been 18 years in Dubai, and as much as I love the UAE very much, and it's been very good to me, the lure and the pull of Saudi Arabia and the kingdom as a whole was just too much to not join forces with everybody and start working on the mission that's in front of us. But I think aside from work and working life, I love it every day when I kind of meet young Saudis and work with Saudis and tell them about places I've been that they never even knew were in their own kingdom. So I worked a lot in Al-Baha, Abha. I worked in Jazan, Khubar, as I mentioned as well. I've done a lot of study around Najran and up into Taif and Jeddah, and obviously Yambao and Buba and Al-Waj now. So I'm excited about unlocking the potential for adventure in all of these destinations, because the diversity of landscapes that's right on our doorstep, that mean we don't just have to plan that big 2-week holiday every single year somewhere overseas. We can have a long weekend in our own country and experience exactly what we would have in destinations that have been on our bucket list for since we were born and started traveling. It's right on the doorstep. So for me, it was the environment and the landscape and the people that attracted me to Saudi. And it's been the past few years of living here that's made me, okay, I put a little bit of weight on. I must admit, the food scene here is absolutely winning.
We call that happy weight. We call that happy weight.
Yeah, give me some happy weight, exactly. I've got plenty of that. But the good thing is I can offset it with a couple of adventures in the mountains, and we're good. But yeah, it's home for me now, and I'm excited about bringing my wider family over to experience it and planning all sorts of trips for them, because it's just the coolest place to be right now.
For the adventures that you mentioned and everything. It goes to show that a lot of people, they love travel and everything, but for me, when you work in the Red Sea Development Project, I was surprised. A lot of things they have here, I didn't know it was in the backyard. So I guess we need an individual like you to start our adventure to-do list. So, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's funny you should say that. We've got 28,000 square kilometers of awesome landscape and diverse and varied landscape just in the Red Sea project alone, not to mention what is in Amala and beyond. And for us, we've got beautiful kind of wind-brushed mountains that are akin to what many people would have expected in Utah and Joshua Tree, but it has its own unique identity set into the history of the two tribes that are within in the territory I'm working, Jahani and Billi, and work alongside a lot of that community to unlock the stories that they have that are just incredible. And so it's not only really what the mountains provide, what these crazy, beautiful cinder cones that sit within the volcanic landscape that we've got, and of course the water and what's beneath it and the islands that are around it, that kind of inform a journey around our particular little jewel of the kingdom. But also it's the community that around it that can tell you about the different traits and pastimes of within their heritage, but also unlocking the stories around the Nabatean arrival into there before moving over to we all know Alula and the wider Tabuk around us. And so I think we're just starting to create and shape this story, which is etched in time. We're just bringing it to the rest of the world so that they can enjoy it, and positioning different destinations within it so they can stay with us. And I think that's the most exciting thing.
You described it amazing, because nowadays, it was practically nothing. It was just like empty lands and the beauty was there and everything. And now it's becoming to develop as this next destination. You mentioned something. Many people they travel once a year, twice a year, and everything like that. They schedule for 2 weeks, 1 month for their vacation and adventure, something interesting. And that kind of made me realize it's like I can just be nearby. I'm in the capital city of Riyadh.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and have a 2 hour to 3 hour trip and everything from the airport to the hotel. And the way everything described and what I'm hearing on the news, the Red Sea is it's a long strip. You mentioned 24,000 square meters of it. Of
Yeah.
different terrain and everything like that. For me, I love adventures. I love enjoying. I love relaxing more. I've gained a little more weight. Also, we still keep it with a happy weight. We call it happy weight here. You
I
know,
mean,
but we want to
I'm
enjoy it.
signed up for that.
We want to enjoy it. It's like my friend used to say, is like sun's out, belly's out. The beautiful weather there. Instead of camping or like traveling anywhere else, my friend showed me a video of social media in Amluj. And he was saying like, you will not believe where I'm at. I thought like, oh, Maldives. He was like, no. I was like, where? He was like, I'm in Amluj. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, Amluj. I've heard of it, but I didn't know where he was. And when we have more discussion of like individual like you as an adventure and sports and everything, Saudi Arabia is becoming, I'm sure you've noticed, like we enjoy our comfort and everything, but we also now enjoy sports and activities. And the next adventure is happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with a lot of developments and everything like that. And I'm sure for you, like, it leads up to my next question. You lived in Dubai. Dubai has already been developed in the time you period, the period you were there and everything. What surprised you the most coming to Saudi Arabia, especially into the Red Sea development project?
Well, there's two things here. I think the first thing is, like you said, it's that this reminds me of the Maldives. I think the Maldives has a long history of tourism. We have the advantage of the land that is right next to the islands, which is different for us and provides a lot more opportunity for adventure. But I think the other interesting thing, and what I would love to see is the next generation of Saudis and travelers will go to the Maldives and say, oh, this is just like the Red Sea, as opposed to the other way around. So we make our mark in the history of travel so that the next generation comes and visits our destinations before they perhaps go around to the rest of the world, whether they're from Saudi or traveling outside. I think the thing that surprised me most about the kingdom as a whole is you've got to remember I was here a decade ago. So for me, I've been with the kingdom throughout this period of change and the vision itself, being just a thought into the reality of everything that we're working collectively on now. And I think just having not been able to have as much interaction with Saudi people prior to arriving here as a resident and part of this movement, I haven't been surprised. I've just been heartwarmed and felt more welcome than I could have ever imagined. And it's a place where, I'm recommending and talking about it to all of my friends back home. And like I say, I've been 20 years here. I don't, in the region, I don't need to start selling myself to Saudi and Saudis as somebody that's committed just newly. It's part of the fabric of who I am now. So I think the biggest thing is being able to really have a part in a new culture and a new community that was fresh to me, and be so deeply welcomed that they've not got a problem tackling me aggressively on a Tuesday night on the football field in Daraya. And at the same way, we've not got a problem jumping off the side of the mountain into the water in Wadi Lajab. So for me, it's the people and it's the landscape. And I think all of the rest of the window dressing of nations around the world that is kind of happening now in Saudi is part of it. But for me, it's always about the origin and the roots, before you start dressing it up with the buildings and the places, and that's what we're really focused on at Red Sea. It's about the beauty of what we're creating around the landscape and the people that we already have.
So it's practically, the roots of it, the foundation and the personality of that region and the culture of it. It definitely adds to what it is, because I'm sure for you traveled around the world and everything, different culture, different regions, but one thing that really stays the same, no matter how much international companies come, it's the region, the people, and the culture. They make it what it is. For example, if you go to Hawaii, you go to Europe or anything, the people make the experience even more memorable. And I think that's
Yeah.
what adventure is. Like you mentioned, you became more engaged into the culture and the locals and everything. As like I always tell my friends, when you travel, you always wanna do what the locals do, not only what the tourists do, because tourists, you
Yeah.
can get it's almost like a copy and paste an aspect, but the locals, they give you the local proper experience, and I feel like that's why me and you became a little chunky here, which is understandable.
It's a Kabsa, Jarish. Please, someone show me a Saudi salad.
It's we have it here.
It's
We just put it on the side.
yalla. But I'm no, it's that's the thing. It's very much my focus around what I'm doing and what I've been instructed to do comes down from our leadership and our ultimate leadership, and it's the influence of our chairman, His Royal Highness, and it's the influence of John Pagano, our CEO, and the wider team that is very much look at the landscape, look at what it inspires you to do immediately, talk to the people, learn, make sure that you work in these experiences around our culture. And culture and heritage can be natural and community based. So the two things together, the wildlife that we've got, the flora and fauna, you can spend half your day running up mountains and diving beneath the water in absolutely stunning coral. And the rest of your day, you can focus on your happy tummy and go and eat kabsa or beautiful fresh fish, just straight from the boats of the fishermen. It's an opportunity that we have to protect and preserve the landscape in a way that hasn't been done before, by drawing people towards it. And the more emotionally tied you are to somewhere, the more you want to protect it. And we just want to create emotional bonds with the area that we're in, so that the world and the people that visit us want to make sure that that stays the same forever. And that's our approach to development, and that's our approach to the destination.
Indeed, and you mentioned very important things. Enjoy life, live in the moment, and really enjoy the beautiful nature. For you, you've been here in the region for a while, and I'm not specifically sure how long you've been in the kingdom, but I'm sure you've witnessed many amazing changes. What are the changes that you have witnessed and you want to discuss about?
Well, I mean, from a music perspective, when I first started DJing, I was looking out to a crowd of guys. And now when I DJ, I'm looking out to a crowd of girls and guys having the same amount of fun in the same place. And I personally, for me, that's wonderful. I love going out and about I used to go to the singles section. Now I'm hanging out with a mixed group of people in the family section and family friends. Change happens in a variety of ways, and it's not my position to comment on the reasons why. I'm just enjoying what's happening now and the speed at which it's happening and the opportunity to be part of it. The project itself signifies a fantastic change in the approach to tourism, which is exciting, because then now I get to show the Saudi that I've known for over a decade to the people that I know overseas. And I think one of the important things is that, for me, there are only a few cultural aspects that have changed, but the people haven't, and Saudi hasn't. And so I think, that for me is just an opportunity to show the rest of the world that. And I love the fact that a lot of my friends that are Saudi that didn't live here and I met in university and have lived outside are now sending me CVs or asking what's going on in the kingdom, and I can say, "Oh no, we're not ready for you yet." I'm going to give the job to the guy next to me. But no, I'm excited about it, and like I say, I'm from football to work to weekends. It's home for me now.
Well, there you go. I guess that's simplified. Next adventure is your happy adventure, huh?
Exactly.
You mentioned a lot of things for the individual that you do of adventure, sports, traveling, and everything. Like, what is something that is your go-to fun time, as your go-to activity? I'm sure for coming all the way from Europe and stuff like that, isn't it? We have the winter and stuff like that, but what is your activity? What is your go-to activity that will say, this is what I like to do? I am Oliver, and this is my activity.
Well, I mean, apart from eating, which we covered.
That is step two.
No,
That's step two.
yeah, you know, but for me, the go-to activity that we're really excited about bringing into to the Red Sea and working up with the Saudi Sailing Federation as well is sailing. It's foiling. It's the opportunity to be on the water, flying above the water in a beautiful boat with a sail above you. The Saudi has the most incredible northwestern winds that blow onto the shores. The archipelago that we're on gives you the opportunity to have really safe sailing and learn how to sail, but you can be a windsurfer, you can be a wing foiler, you can be a sailor, and all of them are at different levels. You can progress through them from start to finish, hopefully with us. But wherever you do it in the kingdom, you know, you're going to be drawn to us because we've got this great safe lagoon where you don't drift out into the Red Sea until you're comfortable to do so. And it's one of those really freedom-inspiring moments where it's just you and it's nature and it's wherever it blows you, and you control the vessel that takes you there, and you're surrounded by hawksbill turtles, manta rays, beautiful fish above and below the water, and just flying around you. It is honestly one of the most incredible things. So, you know, that's what I'm excited about as well, is whilst we have the amazing rock formations and the desert dunes and the mountains, but we've also got these beautiful islands which have, you know, amazing outer reefs around them, and yeah, you'll find me on the water when I'm not playing football and eating jarish and drinking coffee at 1 a.m., which I haven't got my head around that part of Saudi culture yet. Yeah. But I'm learning.
You know, it's like one of my friends, he was like, let's go like diving, let's go scuba diving, let's do this and that. I was like, I want to eat fish. I don't want to be fish food, you know? I always tell my friends.
I love it. I have similar friends who, but they're the other way around. They don't eat sushi because they feel like it was swimming with their mouth open. It takes a nation of and a planet of many to make life exciting. I think for us, the key is that we've got this opportunity in this amazing location that has benefited from the lack of human intervention to show everybody how you can consciously design and develop a destination and only better the way you found it over time. And the more people that you bring to it, the more people, like I said, that understand it, want to protect it, and that becomes a unified purpose through a destination and a creative approach to delivering tourism that only Saudi can do, because the majority of the rest of the world has to backtrack on what's already been done. We're able to start with a clean state and do it right.
Well, there you go. You know, now you get to put the Made in Saudi logo there, huh?
Yallah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Mr. Oliver Wood. Any last words or message you would like to say to conclude of this interview?
Shukran, yatik al-afia, ma salam.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Oliver Wood, Adventure and Sports Director, discussing regarding the Red Sea Development Company and all of the exciting and amazing things that are happening there for individual that loves adventure, outdoors activities, and even indoor activities. As a DJ, he mentioned in music, it goes to show that, you know, your next adventure is your happy adventure. Do what you love and love what you do. And what's going on with the Red Sea development and what's going on in that region of one of the programs here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia goes to show that here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we definitely love what we do and we do what we love. And we're looking toward the future of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the future generation. Yes, I know the young generation, 70% of the population are 30 years old and below, but they are very excited to be a part of the future and to grow as a society. So we're very excited. Ladies and gentlemen, again, that was Mr. Oliver Wood, Adventure and Sports Director for the show in the capital city of Riyadh, on the mic with your host, Suleiman Az-Haifi. Till further episode, more adventures and more discussion with interesting guests. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On the mic. On the mic with your host, Suleiman Az-Haifi.